Yo, what is up guys, welcome to a new video. Today I'm gonna show you the walkthrough of Take You, my new trap song. Since the day I released this song, a lot of you are commenting on YouTube and on Instagram that you want this walkthrough. Also some people send me messages on Instagram saying the same thing. And well, here you have it. I'm gonna start with the breakdown, and in the next tutorial I'm gonna show you the drop. I'm gonna show you both breakdowns, but basically are the same, you know, just the second one has some different sounds and I'm gonna show you them. And I also want to show you how I work with the vocals. And well, I think I don't have to explain anything else. Remember to leave a like if this video help you, and with all that being said, let's start with this video. Alright, so here we have the song. This is the breakdown, the build up, the drop, second breakdown, a little bridge, second build up, second drop. As you can see, it doesn't have neither intro or outro. We thought it was not really needed. And for now I'm gonna just mute the vocals, and this is the vocal reverse, and I'm gonna start with the breakdown. So the breakdown and the song starts like this, and what do we have here? We have first some guitars, that is just a loop from, you know, Looperman. And here we have a really wide guitar, that is what Robert sent me. And then this one that is a lot mono, as you can see here. So this way I give the power in the center too. And then in the second part, they're gonna be filtered out. So this way there's a difference between both parts. Also in this part we have this vinyl crackle, just to, you know, add something extra, because in this part it was filtered and so on. My opinion worked so well, this crackle. And also here I decided to add a vocal top that is following the notes of the guitar. And here too. This way, you know, is some ambience. This vocal top just has a bit of delay and a lot of reverb. Basically it's almost all wet. And what else do we have? Well, we have here some plugs and reverse plug to give a bit more ambience, you know, to the song. Then before going to the next part of the breakdown, we have this drum fill, and the bass line is going down with these notes. So what do we have in the next part of the breakdown? We still have the guitars, and what we added is especially this bass. So this is a layer of a guitar and a sine wave. Then we have a kick and a snap doing some rhythm. Just some crashes and downlifters for the transition. And then, in my opinion, this is what it makes it sound really full, that is the ambient sounds. The first ambient sound sounds like this, the second one, and the third. All the three are pitched correctly to the key of the track, that is D. And then what I decided to add is this string, that in my opinion the strings in one note add a lot of tension. And it's going left and right to add more movement to it. So let's compare the song with and without this ambient sound. So this is with and without. As you can hear when I mute them, you can hear the difference, and it sounds a lot more empty. And well, before going to the next part, we have just we add some rides that we have later. And this water drop, nothing else. But then here, before going to the build up, we basically have the same, you know. We still have the ambient sounds here, we have the downlifters, we have this ride that we added here, the percussions, you know, the kick and the snap, the guitar, also the bass line, but the bass line is changing the notes. So we had first the bass line like this, but here we change it. This way what we are doing is creating like a rising effect, you know. Changing the chords is something really cool to add different feelings on a song. And well, in this case we don't have chord, we just have the bass note. But it also helps, you know, if we just had these four notes here again, wouldn't be that interesting, you know, and that emotional. But also in my opinion, what works really well in this song is this part, this guitar here. It's just a guitar from Nexus, and in my opinion it works really, really well. It adds a lot of emotion to this song. And the rest is exactly the same, and just a little riser to go to the next part. So well, we come to the next part, and I like this part, this transition on this song, that we have a really chill breakdown. It's pretty chill and pretty calm breakdown. But then when we come to the build up, there's a lot of energy. It's like all the energy of the song comes here, and the transition is so strong, but in my opinion, works so well. So here we have the build-up, and what do we have here? Well, of course, some sounds for the transition. We have the leads filtered with a lot of reverb with this endless smile. A riser. We have here a kick to give more impact. We have this snare here, and this clap, doing the snare feel in the build-up. And also this right, to add more movement. Also we have this effect going down. Some risers here. Also this ambient thing. Another riser. But then in my opinion, what gives the most energy are these two layers. It's just a sub, a really aggressive sub, and this sound. My opinion, this is what gives all the energy. And also here we have some pads that are, given like an emotional feeling. And the guitar we had before, what we did is just make it like an arpeggio, going up and down. And well, later some more crashes. So yeah, this is what we have in the build-up. Think, for example, if we don't have these basses, or with this bass, it's cool, but without this one, it's not the same. And before showing you the vocal, what I want to show you is the next breakdown, what we have here. And well, we start again the breakdown with the guitar, but in this case we don't have the filter, and is in another part. As you can hear, it's not the same. It's the same loop, but another section of the loop to add some variation to it. And in this case, we don't have anything else. We have again the plug here. We have just some down lifters for the transition from the drop to the break. And what we have to add more ambient instead of these vocals, we have the main leads that I'm going to show you in the next tutorial, but filtered. To add something extra, to don't have only the guitar here. Then we have the same like drum feel transition to the next part of the breakdown. And in this part of the breakdown, we basically have the same, the guitars, the bass line, the ride we start before. As we already introduced today, we can start from the beginning. And well, in this case, I decided not to add the atmospheric things. I thought it was not really needed. Basically to change a little bit the breakdown, And to give some more ambience in this part of the breakdown, what we have, and to also make it different from the first one, is this plug here. Robert used this, but used another sound that was a lot more aggressive. In my opinion, this one worked better, a bit softer. And what you can hear is like this note, but repeating 3 times with the gate, and then the fourth one is just a delay. And what I decided to do is add the panning to the left and to the right, so this way, you create more movement. And well, every time it plays different chords. So it's giving more harmonies, some more movement, and so on. And this time, instead of going directly from the breakdown to the build-up, we decided to add this bridge. So what I did here is just create these markers. You can create them with Alt-T, okay? And if you click on markers key, what it's going to do is go from this one to the next one. So instead of doing this, we decided to add this little bridge to give a lot of tension to the song. In my opinion, works really well and gives a lot of emotion and tension and power to the song. And what do we have here? We have first the leads with the filter, as you can hear, and a lot of reverb. So I start filtering out from here. Then here we have the bass line, use it in the build-up. But just with one note, because if you use just one note, it adds a lot of tension, like with the strings in the first breakdown, and then some effects, some crashes, and so on for the transition. But apart from this loop, for example, that is the loop of the build-up, we have two new sounds. The first one is this one. It's like a vocal, ambience vocal, to add more ambience and to make it sound a bit fuller. And this sound here. As you can hear, it goes left and right with this panning automation. And in this part that, as you can see, it's just a long note and a silence, we have the guitar of the first breakdown. To give more emotion and more feeling. In my opinion, this guitar works so well to give emotions. And well, after that, after giving this tension, after making this bridge where you want it to come, it's like you have this part where you're saying, hey, I want to drop right now, I want it to come. We have the build up that is exactly the same as the first one, and then the drop. In my opinion, we did a good arrangement. Well, the arrangement basically was by Robert. He did a good job there. And, it's more about the sound selection, about what we add here and there, just some little things, but not a lot, It's not a lot of things going on at the same time, in my opinion, in this song. I have songs where I have a lot more things going on, and it also works well, but in this case also works well this way. And before ending the video, I want to show you the vocals really quick. In this vocal, as you can see, this is not a layer, okay? It's just a processing of the vocal. So the vocal was like this. I can't take you anywhere. And as this was in 128 BPM and I had to put it in 140, what I had to do is some cuts to make it fit better. I can't take you anywhere. And to make this fades out, what you have to do is go on mode and change it to, I use it to smooth. You can use crossfade, but it was too much. Generic, that was not enough. So smooth in this case was the best. And what I did with this vocal is send it to this mixer channel where I have a lot of effects, as you can see. But the most important one is the Little Altar Boy, because this one is what making the song pitch up. And the most important thing is the formant. If I don't have the formant, it's not the same, but with the formant adds a really good sound that worked really well on this song. But this Little Altar Boy is adding some delay in FO Studio. What I had to do is just render this in this stem here and then add this processing here. As you can see, is a lot. First, I have some EQ to, cut a bit the mid-lows of the sides and some resonance. Then a soothe. I show you how to use this plugin in another tutorial on how to clean the vocals, because what it's doing this plugin is to cut the resonance of a vocal, but in a dynamic way, So if the resonance is there, it's cutting, and if it's not there at this time, it's not cutting. I use it a lot of soothing this time because it had a lot of resonance, and some more resonance with this EQ. Then a CLA to compress it, to compress a lot actually. Then another soothe, then another EQ where I had to cut the top end because it was so annoying. It has really bad highs, but well, in my opinion, as the breakdown is kind of chill and dark, cutting the highs of this vocal is not really affecting the overall sound. And then another soothe. If I take out all of this EQ, you're gonna hear all the resonance. And it's so annoying, so I had to do all of this EQing. The difference is huge. But as all of this was using a lot of CPU, because Soothel uses a lot of CPU, what I did is just render this again into this one. I didn't use this one. And I had to send it to this bus where I have the final processing with EQ and so on. So first I have a P controller to control the delay and the reverb. If you want to know how to use the delay or how to use the reverb, I have some tutorials, really simple tutorials and basic ones that I did here in the channel, so check them out. Then I have some more EQing, trying to cut the resonance and so on. Some more crazy EQing to cut the resonance. A limiter just to cut the really high peaks. As you can see, it's not all the time, but then a limiter to cut all the peaks and to make it a bit more glued. Then this speed controller, I show you in a lot of tutorials. This speed controller, what it's doing is sending information to other sounds, like for example, this guitar. And every time the vocal plays, the guitar is gonna be reducing some frequencies, as you can see. But if it's not playing, the guitar is not losing any frequencies. Then finally a last EQ and well, a volume automation for the song. And as you can see here, I have some automations. In this automation, what they do is control some EQs. So if you check this point here, as you can see, it's decreasing because in this part, just in this part, this frequency was a lot more annoying than in the rest. So what I decided to do is instead of having all the time like this, just reduce it. And then here, apart from doing the same with this one, what I'm doing is enable this notch. Because this frequency, this bad frequency here is just in this part of the entire vocal. So I prefer just to enable this resonance here, not all the time. And the end result of the vocal is this one. I still can hear some resonance, but you know, if I overdo it, it's too much. And yeah, of course, I could just try to change the vocal to another one, or maybe do it but pitching it down, not high. But you know, I like it better this way in this song. And in my opinion, all the vocals didn't really fit that well. So guys, these are the breakdowns of Take You. In my opinion, as I said, in this case, it's not about what we have. It's more about the sound selection, because we don't have a lot of things. We just have the main guitar, the vocal, some ambient sounds, and the bass line. Later, we add some other sound and so on, but basically this is the main breakdown. You know, this is the main idea of the breakdown and basically what you can hear. Of course, we have other sounds that are complementing these main sounds, but basically it's this. So if you have some questions, don't forget to leave down below, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the drop that I'm gonna explain next week. And well, nothing else, guys. If this video helped you, don't forget to leave a like also, because it helps me a lot. Thank you for watching, and guys, see you in the next video.